All right, welcome back. I'm glad I headed over to the barn because apparently the animals heard me talking about them being lazy and decided to get up and do something. So the goats are headed out into the pasture, which is where they should be with this weather that we're having. One of the cats, wait till you see this. Oops, she got up and moved. She was all stretched out on the fence line. But there, little visit from the cats. The pumpkins are still around. And the girls are doing what I really want them to do, which is enjoy their pasture while they have it. I'm spending a lot more time down here. Hello, Miss Wren. I know. Hi, baby girl. It's hard to see you when you're this close. And Bobby Socks has to get in on it. And she's chatting too. But we're about 2 weeks out from the goat show, which is super exciting. I keep talking about it. I'm excited to be back. So I've got a lot of baths to give and a lot of things to get done beforehand. Meanwhile, hi, Miss Emma. It's just nice to be able to see the goats do what they do, see the cats do what they do. See, Bobby Socks. Of course, now that I caught them out in the pasture, they headed back up to the barn because, you know, why not? Mom might have treats or something. We better be up close to the barn. It's hard to tell if anybody's in heat because we're pretty buggy. We had rain yesterday, and so the bugs are up in force. Everybody's tails are wagging. But we are truly waiting for some signs of heat. I've got Miss Bobby Socks here who is just desperate for attention. So I think we're going to focus in on her. Not your tush. You're supposed to show us your face. That's better. She was dying for it, aren't ya? Yeah? You all clean and good? All right. I know. You don't want the camera. You want to be pet. So yeah, we are just on stand. What are you doing, Wren? You are jamming yourself between the fences. There's a good possibility she's stuck. Let's see if we can work her out. Actually, there you go. She's out. Well, there's a topic that we'll cover. That's exactly why I don't have goats with horns. Okay, so this goat has been here for 2 years now. These fence lines have not changed in the least. Why she suddenly decided she needed to shove her head in there and really shove it in and get it up and stuck in between the two fences is beyond me. Had she had horns, though, she would never have been able to get herself out. Ever. It would have required intervention from a human, and quite honestly, we probably would have had to cut the fence to get her out if she had had horns. That is one of the reasons that we disbud the goats. Now, granted, these goats are all primarily disbudded because the breed standard is for them to not have horns. They can have horns, they're allowed, but really the breed standard and the visual standard favors no horns. That to me, that's like cropping dogs' tails. That's not necessarily the reason why I would do something like that. We disbud for danger. Okay, if I was not home and Wren had decided to shove her head in the fence line and get stuck, she could panic, thrash, break her own neck in the process, trying to get out. And that is certainly not an outcome that's desirable in the least. And it's absolutely not an outcome that we would ever want to happen. No horns, that can't happen. You saw she was able to back herself out with minimal effort and nothing got stuck, right? Except her ears for a few minutes or a few seconds. So we're all good there. The other reason that I don't have horns on our goats is because goats are goats. And they will headbutt and they will argue with each other. And sometimes goats get mad at each other and they, you know, let's see, for lack of a better term, they are, you know, ornery with each other, I guess is the best term to use. With that, if they decide to get into a bit of a heavier duty argument, they can hurt each other. They don't typically hurt each other. They don't do it on purpose, but it's not hard for one goat to catch another with their horn, gore the side or gore, you know, a part of their body. And once again, if no one's home to treat that wound, if the wound is deep, which it can be with horns, then you come home to an animal that you cannot save or an animal that has already passed due to their injuries. So horns for me are just not worth the entrance fee, right? There's just too much risk and no real upside. The upside, of course, is it is part of their natural being, but you know what? The upside of having horns versus the downside of possibly getting hurt or hurting some other goat, just not worth it for me. And all of our goats are disbudded. And that is how I will run my herd. That is how I sell my babies. I'd love to hear your opinions on it. I'm sure there are many folks out there that have never had a problem with horns and think that I'm overly cautious, and that is great that it works for you. It does not work for me, but I'd love for the discourse to happen so people can make up their own minds. So yeah, little impromptu chat on horns versus no horns. That wasn't the plan, but that works for today. And as always, Miss Wren, signing off. Hi, Denali. I'm starting to wonder if Lotus is in heat. We may have to do something about that. So that would be nice. Start to get this breeding season kicked off. See, this is what I mean. They're not hurting each other. They're not trying to hurt each other, but you add horns to that mix and those little pushes and shoves can become much more dangerous. Now that behavior tells me that maybe Misty is coming into heat, right? She doesn't want to be touched. Leave me alone. It's hot. Yeah. They're just proving my point at this point. I swear it's like they know what I'm talking about. At any rate, I hope you are having a fabulous day wherever you are in this world. I hope your day is as good as Wren's is and not as bad as Misty's is, apparently. And we will talk to you at the next one. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be kind. Thanks for being a part of my community. Bye for now.